Sad news, Spider fans, it seems New Game Plus is indeed not coming out this year for Marvel Spider-Man 2, but instead early 2024. For those hoping to squeeze in another playthrough before Christmas, well, maybe try out doing something else. At least God of War Ragnarok Valhalla DLC is a banger and absolutely worth it in the meantime. However, it's not all bad news. Insomniac did provide some extra info on what to expect from the first big update. Plus, we have some massive leaks to discuss about, detailing of course the future of the franchise and lots of other cool stuff, so let's jump right in. But for those of you out of the loop, Insomniac just tweeted this announcement a few hours ago detailing why the New Game Plus mode and a few other features for that matter won't make it in their original end of the year planned update. So this is as official as it gets, citing that they require more testing to ensure the quality is up to standards. Instead, Insomniac is now targeting early 2024 for the next game update with a feature complete list closer to its release. However, they also want to pack this with some other fan feedback they've got in the meantime, such as time of the day and weather change, swapping tendril colors and replayable missions, among many others it seems. So expect the update to go live anywhere between January to March, since that technically qualifies as early 2024. Personally, I'm actually super excited having a bigger update to look forward to, even though I do have to wait a bit longer to get it. And from the way they worded that announcement, it does sound like there are more things being planned and coming our way. So definitely expecting some extra suits, maybe even bringing back some of the old ones, since that's been such a massive feature being requested. That should definitely be on the list in my opinion. Now, we did have a number of suit sketches leaked before the game even came out, and I'm not gonna be like sugarcoating it, but I do hope we're not getting those. I mean, these just look absolutely terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice that Insomniac gave a bunch of artists that liberty to bring their concepts to life, but I think that there are plenty of over-designed models as it is, especially if you take a look at the deluxe edition. So I would rather go for something fully inspired from the comics. There are plenty out there that could work, literally just transport them in the game, and that is enough. Even the more wild ones, such as the Cosmic Spider, I definitely love this one. I just want to see it one day, but yeah, I think that there are plenty as it is. So yeah, I don't have a problem with the update coming out late. I did wish we had one more chance to maybe squeeze in another playthrough in between the holidays, but as it stands, at least we got God of War doing that for us. Also, early 2024 looks kind of packed right now, especially from February and onwards. We got a lot of big games plus this update, so let me know of your thoughts down below. However, it's clear that Insomniac is planning way more than just another obvious sequel, but instead multiple games that have been somewhat confirmed actually either being worked upon or planned in the Spider-Man franchise. And that brings us to today's leaks. So unfortunately, a lot of that info comes from a massive data breach that the studio suffered recently following a ransomware attack. What ended up happening is that hackers posted early build screenshots of some of their other games, also plans including Wolverine, scripts, and even sensitive employee data, so really sad to see that happening. But among these leaked files, we also had a partial list of planned releases, especially past 2025. So besides the previous 3 games up until now that we had, including the Miles game, Rift Apart, and now Spider-Man 2, there was also Spider-Man 3 being listed, as well as at least more Spider-Man game after that. And there were a few screenshots seemingly supporting the idea that Insomniac is in fact developing a Spider-Verse game, something that could include maybe even multiplayer. And I mean, the source is legit. The hack was indeed confirmed by Sony, and this pretty notorious hacking group was also like posted about early, and they also posted screenshots of the Wolverine game build. That's why I'm assuming that this is 100% legit. So a Spider-Verse game would definitely sound very interesting, possibly introduce other Spider characters from the franchise. We do see that Insomniac is not afraid of introducing other Spider characters, even in their main line Spider-Man. First we had Miles, then they teased Silk, so I can totally see them adding more. I would definitely love to play as 2099 at some point. Miguel definitely seems a very interesting character. However, I do have some concerns, as recently it's been more and more clear that Sony has some big plans for the future inclusion of more live service type games in their lineups. Now, they have been mostly focusing on single player up until now, which I think they absolutely nailed out of the park. pretty much back-to-back bangers, even if they didn't all win Game of the Year. So I can see Sony executives thinking Spider-Verse is the perfect candidate. It rides a massive trend. It's great setting to take into account for a co-op play. I just hope that they don't make the game suffer from the same pitfalls as all other live service games do, or most of them at the very least, like constant battle passes, always online, sacrificing story for menial and repetitive daily online tasks, and all of that. You're already familiar with those, so I really hope that they don't dilute the franchise with something this, well, menial basically. I think the upcoming Suicide Squad game will be a good case study, even though it's not a Sony game, once and for all, because if Rocksteady can pull it off, surely this will give some food for thought to all of the executives out there licking their lips for those microtransactions. Plus, it does seem Sony's live service plans are at least on hold for now, or at least getting delayed. First, that Last of Us multiplayer game is nowhere to be seen. Then Marathon, that supposed multiplayer game from Bungie, getting completely destroyed in closed previews, isn't coming at least until 2025. And there are many more, including like Guerrilla also working on their own version of Horizon, but multiplayer, and a couple more I'm also likely forgetting. Now, the only single player turned multiplayer that I ever found to be successful from a fanbase perspective was Ghost of Tsushima. They absolutely nailed the feeling while adding a completely new game mode with a pretty interesting story to support it. So if they can expand on that, if Sony can do similarly and keep that level of quality with Spider-Man and supposedly all the other games too, then I could see a future in which these games don't get absolutely dunked on. But if they go with the same formula, I can only expect absolute failure. Now, moving on, we also have that Wolverine game, and this is the one I'm most confident I will absolutely enjoy personally, because it's still mainly a single player game, and second because it includes one of my favorite characters of all time, well, Logan basically. So the recent leaks in fact concentrated quite a bit on that Wolverine game. It showed quite a few screenshots in there, so I'm not gonna like show them in this video for obvious reasons, but I will talk about them because I found them quite interesting. So there were two of them, and one of them showed Logan inside what seemed to be an apartment, while the other one in some other kind of building. Maybe it was the X Mansion or maybe something else, but it does seem like Logan can wear different attires. So both that cowboy hat, lumberjack attire we saw from the trailer, as well as his more classic Wolverine costume, maybe indicating that there will be multiple attires to pick or unlock, just like in Spider-Man 2. Now, last time we heard about Wolverine, it was reportedly aiming for a mature rating, which I think is absolutely fitting, and that the story won't have any links to the Fox movies, but instead will likely start before he joins the X-Men. So the speculated release date was initially 2024, but I wouldn't be surprised if this gets slightly pushed into 2025. Additionally, some of these new leaks in fact confirm a bit of some of the old we've seen, adding a bit to their legitimacy. So in one of the previous leaks, it was suggested that at least part of the game will take place in the fictional South Asian city of Madripoor. So that might be that pre-X-Men setting that these new leaks are talking about. Coincidentally, also featured in the new Falcon and the Winter Soldier series on Disney+, so it's not like Marvel isn't looking at the city. It's definitely something that becomes more and more popular in recent media. Now, the city is divided into main communities, an affluent high town and a more rundown low town that's also filled with crime and poverty. So this could be a perfect setting for somebody like Logan. I would definitely expect him starting from low town. Maybe even feature some other interesting characters and stories, maybe the Morlocks, that underground recluse society of mutants that you also likely first heard of in the animated series. At least that was the case for me. Also, Cult of the Black Blade definitely could fit the scene over here really well, but mostly I'm interested into just seeing Logan's background and all of these events leading up to the X-Men, but learning more about his past, I would definitely love that. Anyway, that is it with the leaks. Let me know down below if you saw them and what is your opinion on the slight delay on the update. In the meantime, thanks much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.